Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Let's talk about what makes Diana Ankudinova's performance of Maybe I, Maybe You so awesome. Here we go.
Maybe I, maybe you can make a change to the world.
Okay, a few things. Costume-wise, if you're going to have a V-neck, notice that is basically a visual arrow pointing down. So we have to counterbalance that a little bit with shininess here. And you'll notice also the way she cuts her hair kind of frames her face as well. And it makes sure that our attention stays on her face. Vocally, what's going on here? Really warm and tall in the back. You're going to want to think this ooh place in the back. The tongue even probably pulled back a little bit into that space to mute that sound even more, make it warmer, darker. That breath flow is still really consistent. She's letting that mic do the work for her. So the front of her mouth is relatively closed. That's also adding a little bit to the muted sound that we're hearing here. And it gives this kind of really unique sound that we associate with Diana, especially in these lower notes. So really unique, interesting sound. Would I say it's bad and unhealthy? Obviously not. I love watching Diana. It's just a really unique sound that makes her pop out and stand out here. So what would make me say that something's healthy or unhealthy, good or bad? Well, the fundamental question really is not based on what I think. It's whoever's singing, I would ask them, what does it feel like here? Does it feel easy, comfortable? Are you feeling like you're fatiguing fast? Or your voice is wearing out? If so, those are signs that we're not doing something healthy. If you're making the sound you feel like you can keep doing it all day, then great. Then it's probably a sound we can use, especially if we're using a microphone, because we don't have to sing as loud and don't have to be heard over a lot of instrumentalists. The mic can do that work for us. So in this case, what I'm hearing is I'm hearing a sound that if I think empathetically, if I was trying to make that same sound, would it be tight, tiring, fatiguing, or uncomfortable? No. Sounds like it's a sound that could be made relatively easily and consistently comfortable. Knowing and watching a lot of other performances, this is the first time I've watched this one, you'll notice that changes as she gets that middle higher register. She does not keep the same position all the way through. As she gets higher, you're going to notice this changes in the back towards this 80% of a yawning smile, this ass space in the back, the upper two smile is going to come out. But in these lower registers where she really has developed this unique sound that we associate with her, you'll realize that the teeth are mostly covered. It's relatively small. It's really tall in the back. And even that tongue's probably pulled back a little bit as well.
Reaching out for a soul, it's kind of lost in the dark. Maybe I, maybe you can find the key to the stars.
Notice how her gesture moved through the entire phrase? She kept her body moving all the way through the gesture and then finished that gesture as the phrase left. We call that contouring the gesture to the phrase. And she does a gorgeous job here.
Here's the spirit of hope to say you want hopeless heart. You look up to the sky with all
higher range, she still kept that height to it, the warmth, the darkness, the richness. But to be able to get up there, you saw the upper two smile and more of that ah in the back. So it had more of, just rather than ah, if you imagine you say the word hat, it kind of feels like there's this flat box in the back of your mouth, right? You say hot, feels like there's a tall egg in there. Put those two together and it kind of feels like there's a diamond shape. That's kind of more what she's singing with here. More top and bottom heavy, meaning that diamond is more stretched and bigger top to bottom than it is side to side, but still kind of that diamond shape. That's letting her go from these lower ranges more into this middle higher range here. And you'll notice pitch goes up. That's a sign to us usually that emotional intensity is increasing. She's letting the intensity of her physical expression increase with that as well, which is what makes it feel genuine, authentic, and believable. Awesome.
Maybe you are just dreaming sometimes.
One of the challenges of having this high place in this back, this really warm, covered, dark place, is that it can make the pitch sound like it's flat. Even if you were to measure it and it was actually dead center of the pitch, the audience can still perceive that sound as being a little bit under, not right in the center. So what you want to think is, if you're singing with this placement, you want to imagine that you're singing a little high. Just shoot a little bit on the high end of the pitch. Now we're talking like quarter tone-ish levels here, but we really want to make sure that we're staying dead center of that pitch, and if anything, airing just a smidge on the high bit if we're going to try to make the sound darker and warmer and richer. The reverse is also true. If we're going for a brighter, more forwards like sound, we have to be careful, because the tendency is going to be for the audience to hear that pitch as being too sharp, too high. And so we have to imagine just lowering the pitch just a smidge so that it sounds right in the center. Now, for most, especially if you have an ear-in-ear monitor or some other feedback, you'll be able to just try to make sure that your pitch is staying right dead center. And if you're a musician, you'll be able to hear that and you'll lock right in here. In this moment, I don't think she has any in-ear monitors, and so she's just trying to go with what she's got. And I don't know if there's how much she's able to hear of herself or not. No idea without talking to her. But in general, you'll notice that she keeps doing her best to try to stay in that middle position. But it's really, really difficult when we pull into this warmer, darker, richer place and back, because what we hear in our head as we're singing is not the same thing that the room is hearing. And so it becomes really difficult to try to negotiate that and make sure that we're staying dead center all the time. Really, really hard.
But the world would be cold without dreamers like you. Maybe you are just soldiers of love, bringing spirit of hope, bringing light to the dark. To the sky with all those questions in mind.
So here, as she starts to sing, you'll notice that the intensity of your body movement matches the intensity of the music. She used the music before it to try to ramp up a little bit there, keep a little bit more movement in her body. That's great. We love to see that body ramp up to a new energy level rather than just have an abrupt change. So again, the key here that we want to take away is, if the music's intense, then our body language needs to be intense. If the music is still, our body language should be still. They should be matching. And she does a gorgeous job of keeping that body moving, keeping the proper intensity and an engagement with the body, but in a way that never feels forced, stuck, or pushed, or unnatural. It just seems relatively natural and comfortable and organic, which is great.
All you need is to hear.
Notice that vibrato come out as we get to this more balanced place. The airflow and the vocal fold closure is a little more balanced. Sound gets cleaner. Pitch sounds a little more dead center. Vibrato starts coming out. Interesting pattern, right? Really, really cool. Really gorgeous sound she's making there.
Voice of your heart in a world full of pain. Someone's calling your name. Why don't we make it true? Maybe you. Maybe you. Maybe you.
Okay, distortion can be a really valuable tool and create some visual interest and some intensity, some rawness to it. And you'll notice she used it very judiciously, just in one moment that we heard a little bit sneak back in later on. We don't want to push when we're putting a lot of distortion behind it a lot. We want to try to keep that air really fluid, really gentle, and use it judiciously, because it can be very fatiguing and tiring, especially if we're doing it as aggressively as we're hearing here. But again, since she's doing it with a mic, she's keeping it relatively easy and just using a few spots. It's really effective. As always, I'm really fascinated every time I listen to her. I think the colors she gets out of her sound are just really unique and lovely to listen to. I think it's a really fascinating voice, a really engaging, intense, natural performer who's just really easy to watch, really engaging to watch, and absolutely awesome. Cool stuff. If you want a voice lesson or performance coaching, want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier, perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartstudio.com. You can also send me a 5-minute video clip on wizio.com and get specific feedback from me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. I look forward to working with you online. See you next time.